Hi Cherry Stems! If you don't know me, my name is Cherry May. I'm a non-binary drag artist, dancer, and makeup enthusiast. And this is my new series called The Biology of Drag. So with this series, I want to highlight queerness in biology or in the animal kingdom and show the world that it's not so different, it's not so scary, and LGBTQ plus community is not just unique to people. I wanted to start this series off pretty strong with hermaphrodite species, which reflect traits that intersex people have. My credentials for this series is that I have a bachelor's degree in biochemistry and molecular biology and a lot of free time. I know in my first video I talked about wanting to be a Hank Green and talk about science with my drag, and so I've decided to just start that right away on the second video. I am a scientist at heart. I'm open to feedback. If I say anything that needs clarification or that's incorrect, please comment down below and let me know. I will fix that. Let me know any other queer animals that you would like to see next. So if you'd like to watch me do my makeup and hear about some fun science facts, keep on watching. All right, I'm just using my Maybelline Superstay foundation. To start off this gay animal series, I'm gonna start with hermaphrodite species. These organisms have both male and female reproductive organs, and they are able to produce both eggs and sperm. Before we get into talking about these beautiful creatures, I wanted to take a moment to explain the difference between intersex people and hermaphrodite species. Despite these terms being used interchangeably for intersex people, they are biologically different. I'm using my e.l.f. Camo contour and blush. Now my e.l.f. Camo Concealer. Intersex individuals are born with sex characteristics that do not fit the gender binary, including chromosome patterns, genitalia, and reproductive organs. Using my Sephora contour powder, it is estimated that about 1.7% of people are intersex. People tend to erase intersex people because they are biologically outside of the gender binary, which a major argument of the gender binary and transphobic people is that non-binary people and trans people don't exist because their bodies are naturally made to be a certain way. Let's get into the science. So there are two types of hermaphrodites. There are synchronous hermaphrodites and there are asynchronous hermaphrodites. The difference between these two is when these sex characteristics are present and when they are active. With synchronous hermaphrodites, the fish form mating pairs, and the protogynous fish will lay the eggs, which means female first fish, and the protoandrous fish, or the male first fish, will fertilize those eggs. Once this process is complete, they will switch roles, and the protogynous fish will convert to male or sperm producing, and the protoandrous fish will convert to female or egg producing. These types of hermaphrodites do have the ability to self-fertilize, but generally they form their mating pairs and produce 2 batches of fertilized eggs. So the next category of hermaphrodite species is asynchronous hermaphrodites. You may have heard the rumors about Nemo's dad and how Nemo's dad is actually Nemo's mom, but this is because clownfish are protandrous and they're asynchronous hermaphrodites. Clownfish all start off male. If the environment needs more females, then some will switch to female later in life. While the asynchronous hermaphrodites do change sex throughout their lifetime based on age, they do have both testes and ovarian tissue at birth already. Most hermaphrodite species are fish, frogs, snails, or slugs, but That does not mean they don't come in a variety of shapes, sizes, colors. I am inspired today by the rainbow wrasse fish, which is a synchronous hermaphrodite. Switching over to voiceover cherry to introduce the star and inspiration of today's look, the rainbow wrasse fish. There's a wide range of shapes, colors, and sizes of hermaphrodite species, and I compiled a small list just to show you a little bit of that. Hermaphrodite species can range from small and bright like the chalk bass, the golden hamlet, and the ram's horn snail, which was the runner-up for inspiration for today, to larger, more unique animals like the golden rabbit snail or the giant kobudai. So obviously I got a degree in biochemistry and molecular biology, so all of this really intrigues me. But my favorite part of biology, and the reason that I went into it to begin with, is because I wanted to know why these things happen, which is why evolution is something that's super interesting to me personally. So I wanted to give a little bit of the theorized evolution of hermaphrodites. Voiceover cherry back just to give some more context to these complex topics. Here is a diagram of the process of meiosis, with sperm production or spermatogenesis on the left and egg production or oogenesis on the right. You can see from the diagram that spermatogenesis produces 4 equally sized sperm cells, with each stage of division producing 2 equal daughter cells, compared to oogenesis that produces 1 large ovum or egg that contains all the genetic information and the necessary nutrition to support a fertilized egg, as well as 3 smaller polar bodies that will break down and get reabsorbed by the body. It is proposed that most likely hermaphroditism evolved from anisogamy, which means that male and female gametes are different sizes in order to increase chances of survival. In order to optimize the success of fertilization, male gametes are much smaller and there's much more of them, so that there's more opportunity for eggs to get fertilized, and eggs are much larger and much more stable so that they can stay alive to be fertilized. Changes in these organisms' environments, like the amount of available mates, can cause genetic changes in this organism's DNA to shift hormones into creating the opposite reproductive tissue. Because of these environmental changes, this leads scientists to believe that hermaphroditism evolved from a lack of mating partners, which makes total sense. We're getting close to done. I quickly wanted to mention one of the last types of hermaphrodite species, which is plants. So lots of plants are hermaphrodites. Monoecious plants have both male and female organs on the same plant, and so they do have the ability to self-fertilize, which causes farmers a lot of issues. Dioecious plants, where male and female organs are on separate plants. All right, cherry stems, thank you for staying until the end of the video. Here is my finished look, inspired by the rainbow wrasse. Thank you so much for listening to me yap about my passion and my school. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, figuring out what content does best and what content I like to do best. So this was really fun, combining the 2 things that I love most in this world, other than my partner and my cat: drag, makeup, and science. If you have any feedback, please feel free to comment. I'm always ready to correct myself. If there's anything that I need to clarify, just let me know. I feel gorgeous, and I really appreciate you guys sitting with me and doing this. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. If you want to see more of me before my next video, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at cherrymaydrag, and May is spelled M-A-E. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.